computer, tablet, or smartphone at https://meet.goto.com/Town of Sturbridge/Conservation Commission. In order to call in via dial, it's 1-646-749-3122, and the access code is 819-169-093. Please remain mute at all times except when speaking. Call to order, we have roll call. We are missing Roy and Eric tonight, so start at that end.
Carsten Stüber present.
Sandra Romano present.
Ed Goodwin present.
Nathan Lane present.
Okay. So we have 4 voting members. Go to Mr. Barnacle. Yeah, go ahead. If you could read that, Carl.
Okay.
Yeah.
In the interest of saving time, the Sturbridge Conservation Commission will hold all public hearings tonight for work within a wetland, water body, or resource area, and/or within the 200-foot buffer zone to a wetland, water body, or resource area, in accordance with the Massachusetts Wetland Protection Act, MGL, Chapter 131, Section 40, and associated regulations, and the Town of Sturbridge Wetland Bylaws and associated regulations. We will not be reading the newspaper ad. Prior to opening the first hearing for each project, the applicant is to submit proof of notification to abutters within 200 feet of the subject property line and proof of legal newspaper advertisement. If these items are not submitted, the public hearing will not open. Additionally, prior to the start of each public hearing, we will announce the location of the project, the applicant, and the applicant's representative. If any of the visitors have not legibly signed in yet, please do. Also, if any visitors are recording this meeting, please let us know. Thank you.
Thank you. All right, 6 o'clock, open public hearing for notice of intent for 92 Westwood Drive.
This conference will now be recorded.
Owner, Patricia and Michael Tomko. Applicant representative, Joseph Catoni, BBC Custom Homes, DEP file number 300-1231. Now, let me go a little further on this. That's all I have. You have the, well, you can get it on here. No, it's not on here, huh?
What?
The DEP file number.
300-1231.
1231.
Okay, there's nothing else, then there's the next dash and there's nothing else, huh?
Proposed project.
All right, proposed project, deck expansion, new paver patio, and front addition. Okay? You're up.
Sure. Don't touch the microphones. Hi, Josh Catone from BC Custom Homes. We're here today to get your approval on the, looks like the front addition, which is, I can't see, does this thing work? Right, I can't even, oh, there it is. A front mudroom addition on the front of the house, which is street side. And then we're looking at expanding the rear deck. Staying the same distance out from the house, so just want to expand it out to the corners. And then doing a Goshen stone patio here and doing some, I guess Mike would say, what would the Goshen stone steps in some locations down the side of the house. Yeah. Yep.
The idea was,
And some I don't know if we have any plantings on that.
yeah, that's with all the numbered,
Yeah.
they're native shrubs. The idea was to have a designated path for people to go up and down this slope. Currently, there's no vegetation on it, and the idea with to the sides of this path would be planting natives such as the high bush blueberry, some serviceberry, and clethra, or sweet pepper bush. So there would be a natural style, if you will, with the stone and native plantings.
Right.
And then the stone patio would have wide joint spacing with crushed stone in between, so that it would be
Permeable.
very permeable. Yeah. Which that areas where it's proposed is already currently flat, and it is just outside of the 25-foot buffer.
Can you just state your name and address for the record?
Yes, it's Mike Tebow, Landscape Evolution. I'm at 92 Wales Road in Holland.
Thank you.
Do you have pictures from the area,
Is that,
from the
Yeah.
field visit? Sorry, like I wasn't able to be there. I apologize.
Sorry, everything is technology slow today.
Ooh, that property is, wow, funky.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's the arborvitae's up at the top and the oak to be removed, or one set of them. Okay. That's where the
That's the
proposed
side.
patio is.
The patio is to the left of that, but this is where the proposed walk, those Goshen stone walks would be, right?
In that shot, there's a dead oak tree, the right, that we're also.
Right here, or to
Right.
the right more.
That's
This
the
one?
one right there. It's
It's,
completely dead.
yeah,
We're asking to remove that.
and that's where the walk would be, somewhere, some Goshen stones coming down this area. Yeah. That's where the patio, that Goshen stone patio would be laid in there. Yep.
And also that area underneath the deck, proposing the same treatment with the Goshen stone.
Getting rid of that concrete and doing Goshen stone with wide joints and great drainage. Better than what's there now. We need it. But that's where we're proposing to go a little bit wider, and not wide. Yeah, so this is the,
Oh, Darla,
That's
you
all right.
finished. I thought you were.
so underneath here, the deck would be expanding probably about, I think it's about 3 or 4 feet on this side closest to us, where the gentleman's standing on the other side. It's going about 8 feet that way. But the same distance out, not making it any closer to the lake, just going the full width of the house is what they're looking for. Yeah.
Both up
Um,
and up and down.
Down would be the Goshen stone, and then up would be that. And then we're going to use helical style piles, so we're not going to dig down there. We're just going to have them drilled in for the supports of the deck. And we're going to do the same up here with this treatment, because these walls, they're not structural. So we're going to take the corner out of each side of this, and we're going to put helical piles, drill them in to support the new building.
okay.
Less disturbance.
So that's the enclosed porch.
Yeah, that's where the enclosed porch will be. Yep, right on that. Basically the same size as that. It's actually a little bit smaller, just because of how the window is laid out and stuff on the house. But it's going to stick out the same distance and be maybe just about 6 or 8 inches narrower.
Are there any?
This one you actually might have been on, because we did
Yes,
this back in March.
Yes, I remember like the arborvitae in the front.
Yeah.
Can we get any pictures of the arborvitae's in the front other than that one that you showed?
I have the one. I think the other one might be that
The other one,
file
yeah, basically looked exactly the same.
version of this.
Well,
Pulling on the wall, I remember. Yeah.
there's also a request for 2 oak trees.
Whoa, trees, that's,
Yeah, that one right there in the background shot, which is in the middle of the driveway. The arborvitae's are so overgrown and they're pushing the wall out here is the problem. It's being very
Yeah, I remember noticing that in the film.
aggressively pushing on the walls and
And it's just mirrored on the other side. That might be the one that we got that funky picture. First one I opened.
Yeah, the problem that I have is with the two oaks up here, removing them. I don't have a problem with the arborvitae's coming out,
yeah.
but you really, I feel doing some damage to the lake to take those two trees out.
Well, those trees are gotta be 150 feet, 200 feet from the water, 150 feet from the water.
Yeah, but they're also
they're on the Westwood Drive Road.
side and they're high.
Yeah, they're on the hillside. They're on way up. Yep, they're on the road there. Right. Yeah.
All right. Now that's going to be, that entryway is going to be a year-round.
The house is going to be year round. It's going to be a heated space. Yeah. Yeah.
So you're just going to put those
gonna
posts
be-
in on the four corners?
Yeah, we're going to drill them in and then put the building on top of it and insulate it properly. Of course, all that I had to submit to the building department.
Okay.
Engineer drawing on that.
Anybody have any other questions?
And so the patio is in the 50-foot zone.
Yeah, it's
Yes.
outside the 25. It's in the 50.
Just no structure. Is that a structure?
According to our definition, it is a structure.
Are you planning to have some remedial plantings also for that?
Well, that's what all the. Right. Go ahead, Mike.
Yeah, we do have the, quite, all these, the numbered,
But
Uh,
One,
shrubs.
twos, and threes.
you take out all these trees up there, so
The shrub, the arborvitae's by the road.
I mean the oak tree. Over
Yeah.
there. Want to plant something on the other side? Or?
There's all kinds of trees up the other side of the property already. Pine, there's a couple of pines there.
yes, it's pretty fairly wooded, all in front of that patio area. Right where the patio is right now is the one spot where it's sort of half lawn currently. I don't think
Yeah, it doesn't show all the trees that are on the property, but there's a clump of trees down here. There's probably 3 or 4 big trees right in this area, and then there's a couple of pines that go up the side, maybe 3 or 4 pine trees that are there right now that are probably like 6 or 8 inch, probably about 10, 12 feet tall, 15 foot tall,
yeah,
going there right now,
there's other native plants. There's mountain laurel and so
down
forth.
by the water.
Right,
Right.
in that area in front of it. It's not.
So the two oaks that here, you want to take out, one is right here, and one is like right here.
They're all the way, I can't even see these things. Sometimes I can't find a dot.
Okay, I see them now. Yeah.
I think they're over here, right? There's one right here,
outline,
right
yeah.
here, and right there. Yeah. Yeah, right in the drive. Right, that one's really blowing out the wall, it's right in their parking area, and the other one is, both of them are really right up on that wall, really causing some damage to those areas.
Yeah, I just feel it, denuding the edge of the lake, basically. I mean, I can understand wanting to have expanding a patio over here. I have no problem with that. But just to take those two trees down and say that they're being blown out by the wall, doesn't have merit as far as I'm concerned. I
You're
understand.
concerned by the two the oak trees in the
Yeah.
front.
Yeah.
Will you propose a replacement?
Well, what is replacement of those two oak trees going to
Maybe.
be? A couple of little spindles?
Oh no, I'm saying like if the concern is like the
I
damage
don't know
to
why
the
we have
wall.
to, why can't leave them there?
Oh, they're blowing out those landscape wall. I mean, it's pretty detrimental.
You're saying that, and could tell you they're probably holding the hillside together to a certain extent. I mean, the arborvitaes, I can understand, we've got those all clustered and pushed up against. But to say that you can't build a substantial wall and leave those trees, I don't know. I don't agree with that. But
I mean, otherwise the trees are healthy?
I don't know the health of trees. I never really.
I've seen them off season, so it's actually well,
Right.
but
The road oak trees?
they're
Yeah, they're oak.
Right. Yeah.
Big.
Those didn't appear to be dead when we were there. I know it was off season.
Yeah.
Did we discuss whether those walls in front of the arborvitaes are being fully replaced?
They're not being replaced. No, we're trying to save those. And I think that's why some of that
going to cut the
needs
arborvitae.
to
Yeah,
help.
yeah.
Cut the oak.
Well, the left side of that, the one that we don't see, was pretty
Yeah.
broken.
Yeah.
So is there evidence that these oak trees damage the wall, or
it looks like the roots are pushing them out.
No.
like?
Well, large tree next to the wall, gonna happen.
Did it happen yet, or it might happen? Or?
No, the walls are pretty damaged. They're pretty pushed over right now, so I don't know what could be.
But you're leaving them, right?
What's that?
The walls are being left?
Yeah. Yep. We're trying to save them, yes. Yeah. Because they're nice stone faced walls.
Yeah.
But you don't plan to plant anything in that area after?
No, I mean, it really is the only parking they have, because you can see how close the street is. It's hard to even have two vehicles up there.
So,
You've probably seen that, but
so the removal of the tree also at the same time saves the wall and creates some more parking. That's the deal.
pretty much. We wouldn't want to remove the stumps, or we wouldn't dig the stumps out. We would just probably, grind them low so they're still there, holding the earth back and growing anymore.
All right. Anybody in the audience have any input?
You could also consider, if the oaks are what you're most held up on, you could, if you're approving the rest of the project, which does require a waiver for the structure within the 50, if you don't want to act on the oaks, you could try and deny those two pending a report from an arborist that could come back as a minor change.
No, I'd rather do it as a continuation. If we're not going to approve the project as it's presented, then I'd like, bringing back, if you'd like a continuation, to bring back an arborist to tell us that those trees are bad. I don't think you're going to get that, but
Well, what's the consensus say? What do you guys think? You're going to approve it or not approve it?
we're not going to give you that. We don't give you that information prior to giving it to you. In other words, we don't, you can't negotiate with each member on the committee.
Well, I'm not saying negotiate, but I'm just saying if you're going to tell me that we're not going to do it, maybe there's something we could do to maybe say that you would allow us to go ahead with the project. Because it's basically holding up my project.
Yeah.
I can't move forward and then to come back to another meeting, another couple of weeks,
Yeah.
to have an arborist look at it, and I just,
So you're
really
willing,
wanna get
are you
moving
willing to leave
back.
those oaks where they are?
I don't know, that would be up to the owner.
I would say yes, you can, but,
Because I think the plan in the future is to,
right.
so,
Right, yeah. Me too. I don't argue that point. The,
I know,
I'm sorry, can we just give you a name and address for the record?
Yeah.
Is that an option to pull the oak tree removal off the boat, or?
I mean, yes, that is an option. It's a change that we can make.
I know it's hard for them to pull it off. I know that they're probably willing to do that, to move the project forward. But the neighbor got permission to take his trees down, so we're kind of concerned why we can't take ours if they could take.
Again, you can have us vote. Maybe we'll vote it down, maybe we won't vote it down.
I mean,
What the neighbor does
I got,
in our lives, you know,
but some people get the permission to take the tree down, which is literally, the next lot over.
oh, you know, but you've got 2, 4, 6, 8, 10,
It's so
12,
overgrown in
12
here.
arborvitaes that you're cutting down,
Yeah.
right? You've got some dead trees and some,
I mean, it's the most wooded.
Lot on the street.
see, but this is not an argument.
Yeah, I know,
We're
it's
here
not-
for-
it's
We're
not-
here for the
I know, I
lake.
agree, it's just a discussion.
We're here to protect the
I
lake.
think- Right,
you know?
right. I would say that at this point, they would forego taking those trees down to move the project forward. Be taken away. We had an
Yeah, but if the question, yeah, we can't promise anything for what, we don't even know what the committee will be next month, you know?
I mean, just to present it again, not even to.
Yes, of course you
happen
can.
again. Okay.
Yeah. All right?
So would that go like with an amendment later on?
It could be an amendment or it could be a separate filing.
Yeah.
Or
No.
do you take the chance? And you're gonna take the chance and see if they'll vote trees now?
That's
Just
like
trying to
playing,
answer, Mom.
just like playing the lottery.
I had like to say that we have like
Especially
I don't know what her mom would say. Her mom is in California, so she's trying to communicate with her.
Challenge us not to vote for it.
I don't know what the,
even with that we had like we are not like a full committee like.
All right.
I mean, if you want to take the wall down in any case, then you might as well save the trees. I mean, at least.
if you were to take those walls down.
comes down to.
Yeah, if those walls, if that wall falls over, those trees are gonna fall onto the house. There is no doubt about that, because the wall is actually holding the tree up.
Well, I think based on seeing the site, there'd be a separate concern if the proposal was for those walls to come down.
Right.
It is a sloped site.
Right.
Right now, it's essentially a direct runoff without the vegetation and the
Oh, yeah.
steps that you're putting in. I think there's something to be, at least when I saw it, there's something to be said for the fact that whatever is left on the high side is going to help mitigate the runoff to the
Yeah.
lake on the property.
Yeah.
And, we're not,
Yeah.
obviously the plan is the walls
I mean, no,
stand.
anything that runs to that house right now, that's, that parking lot, none of that water makes it to the road. It kind of puddles out in the road. Because that parking lot seems to be a little bit higher than the street, so it kind of swales right at the road there. Right now.
Yeah, it wasn't muddy when we were there, and we were there early spring.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that's probably a good sign.
We were in a drought.
Yeah, I mean, I would just,
We were in a drought.
That is true. That's a good point.
so the three of us are agreeing that we could just I would just take those right off.
Okay, all right. That's it?
So the oak tree stays, the arborvitaes come down.
Yeah,
Then-
that's how I understand it. Yeah,
Yes.
And the standing oak snag that's by the lake,
that goes down.
that goes
That's
down.
the
That's
dead
down.
one.
Yeah.
The dead one now.
So the only modification is the 2 oak trees on the front.
All right?
Okay. How do we want to do the motions so we don't have the usual motion?
They're in the
Eric
detail.
is not here, so.
Okay.
Do you need a copy of it?
I have it.
Okay.
Yeah, go ahead.
You want to move?
Should I try it?
Yeah,
Go ahead.
it's right in the tree.
I will try it like for the first time. I will see how this goes. So.
Life after Eric.
Yes, it's like he does it so well. In regards to the project at 92 Westwood Drive, DEP file 300-1231, I pose the motion to close the public hearing.
All right.
Second.
Do I have a second? Any discussion? Seeing none, all in favor?
Nathan Lane, in favor.
Yeah, we're going this way. I'm in favor. We've got two here now.
Sancherman in favor.
All right.
In regards to the project at 92 Westwood Drive, DEP file 300-1231, is the motion to for a waiver for a new construction within the 50-foot buffer zone. Correct me if I'm doing it.
Yeah.
Have a second.
Where's the waiver?
The waiver for new structure within the 50-foot buffer.
Second.
Any discussion? Seeing none, all in favor?
Nathan Lane, in favor.
Ed Goodwin in favor.
Sancherman in favor.
Carsten Stuber in favor.
In regards to the project at 92 Westwood Drive, DEP 5301-1231, propose the motion to approve the project pursuant the Wetland Protection Act with the conditions as noted on the draft order of conditions, and including the change of not removing the 2 oaks in the front of the property.
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Nathan Lane, in favor.
Ed Goodwin in favor.
Sancherman in favor.
Carsten Stuber in favor.
In regards to the proposed project on 92 Westwood Drive, DEP 5300-1231, present the motion to approve the project and issue an order of conditions pursuant to the Sturbridge Wetland Bylaw with the conditions as noted in the draft order of conditions, including a bond for the amount of $2,000.
Second.
Any discussion? Seeing none, all in favor?
Nathan Lane, in favor.
Ed Goodwin in favor.
Sancherman in favor.
Carsten Stuber in favor.
I think I don't have anything else here.
So you guys are all set? Josh, are you gonna pick that up when it's ready?
Yeah.
All right, so it'll be mid next week.
Okay, that's fine. Thank you.
Thank you.
Have a good one.
Thank you.
All right. Finally made it to 6:10. Open public hearing for a request for determination of applicability for 3 New Boston Road extension. The owner is the town of Sturbridge. Turn into a bag lady, huh?
I know, I feel that way. Have to have a whole nother chair. Heather Blakely, DPW Director. So, I don't know what I don't have any. No. Because I asked today and he's like, I think I gave my only one to Lauren, but I know what it's for. So, down at the recreation fields, there is a stand for the parents to sit in, you know.
Bleachers.
Bleachers, thank you. Why can't I think of the word? There's bleachers. And what is happening is underneath the bleachers, we're starting to see knotweed and heavy growth come in there. So what we're trying to do is get something that is going to decrease our maintenance and trying to remove all that knotweed and bamboo that's getting in under those bleachers by putting the bleachers on a gravel pad and putting some membrane down underneath the gravel pad to try to prevent the weed growth from coming up underneath. So we're still just trying to do gravel, trying to get those evasives that are coming and encroaching in the fields and in that area. And because it's not able to be mowed as easily because it's under the bleachers, they're finding their way in there. So that is what we're attempting to do. So it'll still be impervious, trying to keep them from taking over that spot that is carved out. So it's in the grass area.
Right?
Had a great shot of Eric's dog. So just to clarify, it's only within that staked area. It is not
Yeah.
everything outside of it.
You can see how we're getting encroached, that area is starting to encroach on us. It's a
How far away is it from the wetland?
6 feet, I think.
8 feet, I think.
Yeah.
right? Yeah, 68 feet.
Okay.
And it would still remain pervious since it's just going to be gravel.
It's along the first base side of the Little League diamond.
There you see the dugout in relation, and then they have the batting cages kind of over right in between.
Is that a new baseball field?
What?
Is that a new baseball field?
It's
No.
the front one.
It's the first one. It was redone. It's been there a long time, but it was even there during the tornado, so. Definitely not in exactly the best location, but
Any
it is what we have, right?
comments or questions?
That's where the school buses are, right?
It's behind where the school buses were. If you went where my offices are, you keep going down. Yes, it's down past where the school buses are stored, correct. It's the first field you come to on the left.
There used to be do they still have the soccer field over there?
Yes.
It's still there.
Well, it's a multi-use field. Softball plays back there, sometimes lacrosse and football.
We need a new soccer field. My kids played on that one, and it was a really bad
Well,
soccer field.
you didn't go to the town meeting when we were voting on it.
No, I actually did, but it was... They always vote against it, I can't believe it.
Let's move this along. Anybody have any comments or
Okay, so ready to vote?
ready to vote?
Okay, so in regards to the project at 3 New Boston Road Extension, should I read the SEC number 2552?
Yep.
Present the motion to issue a negative determination pursuant the Wetland Protection Act with the conditions as noted in the detailed agenda.
Not just disturbance, right?
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
You have a second?
Second, yeah.
Oh, sorry, we have a vote for two. Sorry, change my motion. We first I have to first do the motion to close the public hearing.
Yeah, right. All right.
First time,
Have
sorry.
a second? Any discussion on closing the public hearing? All in favor?
Nathan Lane in favor?
Ed Goodwin in favor?
Central line in favor.
Carsten Stuber in favor.
Okay. In regards to the project of 3 New Boston Road Extension, now is the motion to issue a negative determination for the project at 3 New Boston Road Extension pursuant to the Wetland Protection Act with the conditions as noted in the detailed agenda.
All right. Do I have a second?
Second.
Any discussion? Seeing none, all in favor?
Nathan Lane in favor.
Ed Goodwin in favor?
Central line in favor.
Carsten Stuber in favor.
And in regards to the project at 3 New Boston Road Extension, present the motion to vote to approve the project pursuant to the Sturbridge Wetland by law with the conditions as noted in the detailed agenda.
Have a second?
Second.
Okay. Any discussion? Seeing none, all in favor?
Nathan Lane in favor.
Ed Goodwin in favor?
Central line in favor.
Carsten Stuber in favor.
All right.
What is-
I'm staying for the next.
Okay, good.
All right, we're now 6:20. Yeah, right, we're almost back on time. Open public hearing for a request for determination of applicability for 154 Breakneck Road. Owner applicant is the town of Sturbridge, SCCC 25-53 project, proposed project, addition of gravel and stone to an unpaved roadway. Okay,
It's the
So this is Breakneck Road. This is just past the recycling center. You can see the recycling center up there on your picture. Breakneck actually is still a public road past there because there is not going down to the landfill site. That's actually a different road. It's not Break. I'm going to track my memory and what the name of it is. But Breakneck comes down straight. You see the pavement part. It actually keeps going straight as a gravel road. It's never been discontinued. There's multiple.
down here.
Yeah, there's multiple lots up there, but nobody lives up there. So to protect the ownership of those lots with agreement from us, there is a gate across that. You see the gate, but it's not ever been discontinued as a road. And those lots have legal frontage on the road and everything else. It's just because for purposes of people not going up there and dumping, which happened a lot in the past. There's actually evidence up there still of old dumping, not as bad as it had been in the past. The gate was placed basically to prevent the dumping. What it is one of those lot owners is actually a foresting company, and they came to us and said, hey, we would like to improve the conditions of the road. We will do it at our cost. We know it's your road, so that we can go ahead. We're going to have a forestry plan coming to you for that, but we would like to go ahead and do that road. So because it is our road, we have to come and ask for it ourselves, even though it's going to be done under their auspice of their permit, basically.
They own, how much land do they own on the road?
You have it was
132 acres.
Yeah, so it's a big parcel.
right. And it is under a forestry management plan, so, they're trying to keep the forest healthy there, so I'm not, I think they're trying to be a good steward with us here and work with them, so I see a benefit here. The road does show some eroding areas in places. That's mostly from people on four-wheelers going through there.
This portion of it is actually on natural heritage property. And I did reach out to Natural Heritage just to let them know that there are ATVs that are causing disturbance on their property. And Todd,
That's
I
not
think,
the
is
road
gonna-
itself there?
That is
That's-
Not the road itself. This is the ATV
Yeah.
path, which
Yeah,
you can
that's the
actually
road.
kind of see from here.
Lauren and I walked it when we went out there. It kind of meanders down.
But it
Yeah.
does this.
Yeah.
So these ATV users are using this property to get back on the road behind the gate. And then this
This is the road. So they're not intending to really do much. They're not going to like widen it or take any of the trees out there. They just want to put additional stone in the gravel driveway to make it.
or 800 feet.
Yes.
Yeah.
So they're basically adding gravel to the gravel area. Some bigger stone so that the big trucks have some weight underneath it, like that. But it will basically fortify the gravel road again with gravel.
From an orientation standpoint, from going to the recycling center, and that veers off to my right, is it the gate?
This
That
is
would be as
straight
if you went
ahead.
straight. Okay.
Correct.
Yeah.
Yep. Is that gate going to remain?
Yes, and they want it to remain. They'll use it for access purposes. They already know how to get in and out of it anyways, but yeah, the gate's gonna remain. They're just fortifying the road so that when they bring their trucks on it, that they're not causing a muddy mess or any problems. So it's actually probably something we would ask them to do. So they came to us and say, we want to do this on our own. I actually, they're looking out for protection for runoff purposes stuff so that they're not causing any issue.
Any other questions?
There is a comment here from the DEP requesting a copy of approved forest cutting plan, but there is no forest cutting.
No.
They'll receive a copy of it when it is issued. I did email Brianna back, and
Yeah.
she and I have been talking about the project too, so.
Yeah, she was thinking it was being done in association with it. Informally, it kind of is, but they're asking kind of ahead of time so that they're ready to go in.
Excellent.
Right?
Okay, so Ready to?
Yeah, we're ready to vote.
Okay, so in regards to 154 Breakneck Road, SCC number 25-53, I present a motion to close the public hearing.
Do I have a second? Any discussion? Seeing none, all in favor?
Nathan Lane in favor?
Ed Goodwin in favor?
St. Germain in favor.
Carsten Stuber in favor.
In regards to the project at 154 Breakneck Road, SEC number 25-53, present the motion to issue a negative determination pursuant to the Wetland Protection Act with the conditions as noted in the detailed agenda.
Second.
Seconded? Any discussion? No. All in favor?
Nathan Lane in favor?
St. Germain in favor.
Ed Goodwin in favor? Great, all four.
In regards to the project at 154 Breakneck Road, SEC number 25-53, present the motion to vote to approve the project pursuant to the Sturbridge Wetland Bylaw with the condition that's noted in the detailed agenda.
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Nathan Lane in favor?
Ed Goodwin in favor?
St. Germain in favor.
Carsten Stuber in favor.
Good night. Good night.
Thank you. We're now at 6:30. We're 10 minutes behind schedule.
Representative.
Open the public hearing, notice of intent for 136 Podunk Road.
I'm just
Alright.
gonna close out of go-to really quickly because some people are having, it
ahead,
sounds
what do
like
you-
someone's having an issue, so I'm just gonna restart this. There we go, we have people.
All right,
Okay, so resume item
This conference will now be recorded.
okay. Open the public hearing for a notice of intent for 136 Podunk Road. Owner applicant is Balbu Ahmed, Representative Seth LaJoy and Associates, DEP file number 300-2230, proposed project, septic replacement and debris cleanup.
I mean, obviously, no one is here. I don't have anyone virtual. I'm making sure I didn't get any emails from the applicant, but I don't see anything. Perhaps we table it for a bit and see if they come. I mean, it's past the hearing time, but
It's 6:45, and this was a 6:30.
yes.
All right, Warren.
Do we,
All right, we can table it.
Do you want to just kind of table it and jump back to it in case someone comes? Maybe there was an emergency and they haven't reached out to me, or would you like to make the motion to just continue to the next meeting?
We can do that later. Right now, we'll just continue it. We are at 6:40. Open the public hearing, notice of intent for 105 Shore Road. Owner is Sean Northry, applicant Representative Scott Jordan, Ecotech, DB file number 300, no number, proposed project, new well.
The applicant is requesting a continuance to May 15th pending a DEP file number.
Okay, until when? 15th?
May 15th.
May 15th?
okay. So in regards to the project at 105 Shore Road, DEP number pending?
Pending, right.
Yes,
Yep.
I present a motion to do a continuation of the project for May 15.
Yep. Do I have a second?
Second.
Any discussion? Seeing none, all in favor?
Nathan Lane in favor?
Ed Goodwin in favor.
St. Germain in favor.
Carsten Stuber in favor.
All right.
have a couple minutes till 6:50. Do you want to bring some other matters in?
Sure, go ahead if you
Which
want.
ones we can do. If you want to hop to the last page of the detailed and do item 12, 6 Picker Road, it's a request for certificate of compliance. I'm requesting this gets tabled once more. They are finalizing the operations and maintenance plan. There's some cleanup that they have scheduled for this weekend, so I just want to go out and do another inspection after they do that cleanup, just to make sure everything's in compliance.
So continuation?
Tabling that one to May
Table.
15.
Okay.
So it requires a motion for continuation?
Yeah.
Motion to table it.
Or just table?
Table it, yeah.
Good.
All right.
It's not a public hearing, so, I mean, just be
You have to
motion
second
to,
it?
Oh, okay.
agreeing to table, but motion to
Okay.
table.
All in favor?
Nathan Lane in favor?
Edgar in favor?
Sancherman in favor?
Carsten Stüber in favor.
Good.
Item 13, 546, 548 Haynes Road, request to withdraw the certificate of compliance. This is the project that we just issued an amendment on, either the last meeting or the meeting before, for the planting and the restoration in the back. So we still had that pending certificate of compliance. That whole issue came up because they applied for the certificate of compliance and there were some deviations. So just as a formality, a request to withdraw the certificate of compliance since that is still an active project.
Okay.
The motion would be to accept the request to withdraw.
So for the project at 546 and 548 Haynes Road, SEC number 2192, is the motion to issue, to accept the withdrawal for a certificate of compliance.
Second.
Any discussion? Seeing none, all in favor?
Nathan Lane in favor?
Edgar in favor?
Sancherman in favor?
Carsten Stüber in favor.
And then 14 will take a little bit more time, so hopping down to 15 if we may. Request for a partial certificate of compliance for 68 Paradise. This is just for the construction of the build. There's still some landscaping and planning that has to be done, but in my time here, we've closely been following the build of that house. And everything there's been some minor changes, including drainage that was rerouted, some grading that had changed over time, but with all of the changes that had been approved for the structure itself, the house was built according to the plan, plus those accepted changes. So my recommendation is to issue a partial certificate of compliance for the construction of the home. I would also like to request that the commission discusses how to deal with the surety bond, because the order of conditions was written prior to the notes that I put now that we could partially release the bond if there's landscaping. So I'm gonna leave that up to your discretion if you want to fully release the bond or partially release the bond, or not release the bond at all.
Okay. How much is the bond for?
5,000.
5,000. And what does the partial approval warrant? What are we discussing as being the partial?
The construction of the home and drainage.
Okay,
Does
so the
not
home and
include
drainage has been done
landscaping.
correctly?
This does not include any restoration. This does not include any replication. This is just for the physical, the home structure.
Okay,
They will be required to come back for the rest. So I recommend if you're going to do any release of the bond, leave some of it. So we know that the rest of the planting and everything is going to be completed and stabilized. But it's your discretion if you want to leave it all or if you want to.
Is there a recommendation on the percentage of the bond?
I don't have a specific recommendation. Kind of going off of that, just kind of thinking into if something happened, what it would cost the town to have to use to try and, or what it would cost the
Yeah.
commission to try and mediate it. You know, it'd probably be, I'd say leave at least 50%. But
yeah, it's tough to get anything done in and around the lakes with a violation for $5,000. So I would keep the bond on, give the approval, and go forward that way. Anybody disagree with that? Yeah,
So the motion does not include a release of the
The motion would be to issue a
The
partial
partial.
certificate of compliance with no release of the bond.
Right.
Okay. Okay, so in regards to 68 Paradise Lane, present the motion to issue a partial certificate of compliance. For the record, the DEP file is 300-1155 with a no release of the bond.
Do I have a second on that?
Second.
Any discussion? Nobody said. Okay, all in favor?
Nathan Lane in favor.
Ed Gooden in favor.
St. Germain in favor.
Carsten Stuber in favor.
All right. We're going to go on to number 6 now?
Back to number 6, correct.
Okay. Open
Right
the
on
public.
time.
Beg your pardon?
Right on time.
Right, yeah.
6:50.
Notice of intent for 30 River Road. Owner applicant is Philip Moreau. Boston RV Resorts and Cottages, Sturbridge LLC, Representative Goddard Consulting LLC, and Solitude Lake Management, DEP file number 300. Do we have a?
No file number.
No file number. Proposed vegetation management plan. Okay. All right. And we have Solitude on the line and Goddard Consulting on the line. Yep. As the chair, the first thing I have to make everybody aware of is that we are in court on 30 River Road currently for, well, in general terms, incompletion of the project to the standards. So it would seem, from this person's point of view, it would seem ludicrous to go ahead and work on something with them while where you're not complying with past agreements.
Tom Schultz from Goddard Consulting. In our eyes, this project is a completely separate issue from the enforcement order that was currently on site. This is just nuisance vegetation within the pond and algae management. This has nothing to do with any enforcement order that was previously enacted by the commission.
You guys work with Philip Moreau at all?
He's the owner of the site and
Right.
our client,
He's
but
the
we're not
person
actively
that stood before
engaged.
us and agreed to the plans that he has not completed. And now he's sending you in to work on something. And that doesn't make any sense that we would work with you when he hasn't completed what he owes us.
That project was with a completely separate wetland consultant. That doesn't have to do with us. We're just here for the nuisance or vegetation within the pond and to continue a treatment protocol for that instead of whatever the other applicant and application was for.
I disagree completely. Absolutely has to do with you're hired by the corporation that is, Philip, was he in an accident? Is that what I
He was,
understood? Yeah.
yes, Mr. Chairman, he was in an accident.
How's he doing?
I've only spoken with him a couple times. We have been working with some other folks from the corporation. So we were really not given many details on what this other issue is, but we were under the understanding that it was not a project that was being conducted on the same portion of the property, the pond. We believe it was, understanding that it was like a downstream of the pond.
That's totally not correct. Not even close to correct. In fact, some of the drainage that we were owed went right into that pond. I can't make it any more specific than that. We need completion of we can't have two filings out at the same time. We need one completed.
So So is the commission not willing to move forward at all with this project until something is done with that side of things? You're not willing to hear our presentation tonight?
Oh, you know, I don't see any reason for it. Can you talk to Philip and take a look at the plans that that are in violation and see if you can get them corrected?
Again, Goddard and Solitude have no connection to that project at all. We're just here for the Pine Pond. The other project is with a separate wetland consultant and is a separate filing. This one is just for the pond and nothing else.
Yeah. No. I don't know how the rest of the commissioners feel, but I don't see any reason to move forward on this without, we can deny it if you want. That, but I don't think that's what you want. I would think you'd want to go back, talk to Phil, talk about what you owe us.
Yeah, we prefer you not to deny it. Certainly, if the commission agrees that they're not willing to hear the project tonight, then we would ask for a continuance, and we'll try to speak with the Mr. Moreau or someone else. I'm not sure what his status is after the car accident, to be honest with you. So we'll try to get in touch with somebody. Is it the
Right.
commission, the whole commission's decision not to hear us tonight?
Is it the whole commission's decision? Well,
I would say that given that there is no DEP file number and we don't have DEP comments available
yeah.
either, maybe that's also another reason to,
If you take a vote, you're probably going to get denied, so you don't want to vote. Can you at least talk to Phil, find out what, we're not talking about the suit on the river, on the pond, the downstream pond, which there also is. But what I'm talking about is that the project was never finished. Okay?
You're not referring to the treatment project, though, right? The management of the pond. This is a different project. This is some other project affecting the pond.
Now, again, like you said, I'm just one member, but what I'm talking about is the execution of the project was not completed. We stood on the site, talked about what was going to be done in addition to what was done, and they went away, and then they just opened and have been going without it being completed.
Can you please describe the project that was not completed, just so we have some kind of idea of what to talk to our client about? Because we're a little in the dark about that.
Well, he should have a copy of it. You should be able to bring it from but we can pull it up, right?
The specific project? 'Cause-
Yeah.
So the guidance that we received from our counsel for this was not to discuss any matters under litigation
Right. But,
as part of this hearing.
okay.
And that we would view this as a separate filing, similar to how we did with Podunk and Putnam. That even though that we were in active litigation and there was a request for a superseding order, we still heard that project and moved forward. So we would view this as a separate project.
This is not a separate project. I don't think that legal knows what I'm talking about.
It's the same counsel that had been working with
I
Becky
know,
on this.
I know, but the project was never completed.
Okay, well then I must be on a different page then too, because that's what I've been.
Project was never completed, and so it needs to be completed.
I guess we would have to go in the executive.
We're not talking about the previous order of conditions, file number 300-1019, though, for that aquatic plant management project, correct? Is that was what was our
that might be
project's
it, yeah.
previous order of conditions?
Yep.
This is a.
if I may, I can propose that they present the project. And given that we don't have the information from the DEP or the DEP file, we are not going to be able to vote anyways. So at least they are able to present the projects. You say they are in the meeting, and then we can either like discuss it in the continuation or with.
I think we should have a continuation. I don't think we should discuss.
Oh,
it.
like, no, not discussing, but like for them like to present the project.
I actually would like to get some information about what the other project is, because when was that?
Well, it's the actual development of the whole site. It was all torn down and rebuilt up.
When was that decided?
What, three years ago? When was Jeff with
So I
us?
would need to get some information.
What?
about exactly.
I don't have that information
Yeah.
available right now
Yeah.
on the year.
So I think.
Well, I think we can look for it. What, Carson, what's your question?
We would need to have more information to actually know what's going on.
Right, I agree.
And right, so and then we would have to go into executive session, according to
Yeah.
the council, right?
Yeah.
And so I don't know whether it's separate or not separate, but if Ed says it's not separate, I'm willing not to discuss it now and get some more information before we move on. In any case, since this is not something we can vote on now, so we might as well continue it now and then get some information and see what's going on. Because the members of the board weren't involved. I mean, at least I wasn't involved.
Yeah.
In the,
No one here except me was on the board at that
Right,
time.
so I would need some more information to figure out
Yeah.
what exactly is going on.
Yeah,
And it seems we can't get that information at the moment.
right.
So do you agree to a continuation?
What? Yeah. Would you accept a continuation?
We would, but we want to confirm that that information is provided to the commission prior to the next meeting, so we don't have another situation like we're having tonight. Or at least us as the applicants made aware of the situation before we come back in front of you.
Well, I think the recommended next step is that we would have an executive session related to that prior litigation.
Yeah.
Keep that within its own conversation. And I think what we're pointing out here is the fact that we don't have DEP comments, so therefore, what we're specifically talking about at this point is coming to the table with the information that we need to consider this proposal, and we would continue any other conversation in an executive session about the prior.
Yeah. That
We can set up for the next meeting. I can talk with Alex and see if he can meet us for an executive session prior to the next meeting, have an executive session at 5:30 with him. And hopefully they'll have the DEP file number for that project too, so we can have that session prior to even having the meeting.
But
With that,
if we then decide these projects are not separate, what happens then? Because if Ed says these projects are
I mean,
not
I
separate.
had spoken with town council when we received this application, and the guidance was to treat this as a separate filing, so I was not anticipating not having any discussion or presentation this evening, and we did kind of blow them off for the site visit as well, because I wasn't anticipating not going there after being told we would go there. So
Well,
kind of just,
yeah.
we're in a bit of a tough situation right now, but.
We were in an uninvited situation onto that site for a long period of time. I don't know that opened up. It may have opened up for you. But as far as I'm concerned, that, well, you know, we were, I don't know what you want to call it, but we weren't allowed on the site. All right, so that's where we ended. So we can find out and meet with legal. I'd like to see where we signed off on this, or where we didn't.
Mhm.
All right,
So should we present the motion to continue?
continue.
Okay. So in regard to the project at 30 River Road, without the DEP file number, present the motion to continue the public hearing on May 15.
Second.
Any discussion? Seeing none, all in favor?
Nathan Lane in favor.
Ed Goodwin in favor.
Saint Germain in favor.
Carsten Stuber in favor.
Thank you, gentlemen.
Thank you all. See you at the next one.
Yeah, take care. We're now at 206 Hemlock Path. The owner, oh, this is going to be a continuation?
Yeah, Chris is on the line if he wants to formally request it, but if you want to finish
Chris?
just reading the opening.
Yep, okay. Notice of intent for 206 Hemlock Path. The owner is Nancy Mangari. Owner applicant, Clear Engineering, DEP file number not available, raise and rebuild of a single-family home. Chris, are you there?
Mic's off. Sorry. I'll just, we did receive a request to continue pending
Right.
DEP file number
All right.
Okay.
All in
To
fa-
May 15?
to May 15.
Yep,
Oh, yep.
all right. Motion?
Okay, so in regards to the project at 206 Hemlock Path, without the DEP file number, present the motion to continue the public hearing on May 15.
Second.
Second. Any discussion? Seeing none, all in favor?
Nathan Lane in favor?
Ed Goodwin in favor?
Saint Germain in favor.
Carsten Stuhl in favor.
Okay. We have anything else? Can't go to 7:10.
It's the same, oh no, it's not the same.
Well, since we've got Chris on 3 times, we can bring up,
Chris, are you there?
Can you hear me? I'm sorry about that.
let's hop down to item 14, 110 Paradise Lane. This was the raise and rebuild that was recently approved. And it was required that they submit a landscaping plan prior to any work being done.
Right?
So the list of plantings: black birch, eastern hemlock, red maple, white ash, Norway maple. And
Can you go back to the listing?
this is the proposed, you want the list or the layout?
The listing of plans. These are all pretty tiny, huh?
Well, these are
8-inch black birch?
and then this is mitigation, so that's removal. This is mitigation. So saplings.
Caliper.
Let me know when you want me to switch back over to the layout.
Choose at least 2 of the 5 species below. Are we supposed to do that?
The homeowner.
I mean, going from a flowering dogwood to a northern red oak is,
So this is what's on the actual plan to be
yeah.
submitted, and these are,
So the selections are in this plan?
got removed and replaced.
Yeah.
Zoom out to their legend here for you. So proposed saplings, proposed shrubs, existing tree. So these are your saplings in the blue, your shrubs in the orange, what's being removed in the red. And this is all on the street side of the house.
Oh, we're not messing around. Any reason to have nothing on the lakeside?
Was not specified. A reasoning was not specified.
What?
They did not specify a reason as to why it was all in the back.
That's where all the trees were removed, right?
No, there
Was nothing
house
removed
there.
lakeside.
Yeah.
The thing that was removed lakeside was the house. And then they had said that they were gonna seed and loam where the house was. Just our regulations.
So,
But it's your discretion if you wanna have them rearrange some of this and
Yeah, I mean,
put
we-
some down here.
we definitely need to have some to help the lake.
So you would like to see a revised plan that shows more plantings on the lakeside?
Yep. Move them down onto the lakeside. Anybody comment on that? I feel like I'm out on a limb here.
Chris, did you catch that?
Hi, can you hear me?
Not hearing? Not?
Yes, I'm having some troubles with my connection, but if you want to request 2 minutes.
I'm not understanding it.
What's the distance from the house to the water? The new house, obviously.
It's usually about 50 feet, you know.
50-foot buffers right here.
There we go. Okay.
Yeah.
I just couldn't quite make it out.
Yeah. Well, we're not having a meeting among ourselves, so, can you get back to him?
Yeah.
And
So, Chris,
tell
if
him
you
to
can
revise
hear
it?
us, the request is to have a revised landscaping plan that shows more plantings on the lakeside as well.
Right. Doesn't have to be more plantings, just
Just-
has to be more on the lakeside.
More on the lakeside. Relocate some of them to the lakeside, I
Yeah.
guess we could say.
Yeah. Particularly the larger ones like the red oak, white oak. All right, so we are now,
Does that need a motion?
It's
No, we
not a
don't.
public hearing, so
Yeah.
it would just be tabling a decision
Yeah.
pending a revised landscaping plan that shows more plantings, shows plantings on the lakeside as well.
all right, so now we are at, what, number 8? No.
Number 8, correct.
Right. 710, notice of intent for Hemlock Path for Susan Cook. Again, McClure Engineering, again, no DEP file number, raise and rebuild, and they're looking for a continuation.
Continuation pending a DEP file number.
Okay.
So in regards to the project at 208 Hemlock Path, with no DEP file number, present the motion to a continuation of the public hearing to May 15.
Yep.
Oh, sorry, it's May 15?
May
Yeah.
15th,
Any
correct.
discussion? Seeing none, all in favor?
Nathan Lane in favor?
Ed Goodwin in favor?
Saint-Germain in favor.
Carsten Stuber in favor.
Okay, now we are notice of intent for
Number 9. Just real
71
quick.
Mashpog Road.
Chris, we're all set with you. The commission, before you hopped on, the commission issued a partial certificate of compliance for 68 Paradise with no release of the bond, requesting a revised landscaping plan of 110 Paradise Lane, and then both public hearings were continued to May 15th. You're all set.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So we're notice of intent for 71 Mashpog Road. We have our written request to continue to May 15th, 2025.
In regards to the project at 71 Mashpug Road, DEP file number 300-1224. Present the motion to continue the public hearing to May 15.
Seconded. Any discussion? Seeing none, all in favor?
Nathan Lane in favor?
Ed Goodwin in favor?
Saint-Germain in favor.
Carsten Stuber in favor.
Okay. Now continue public hearing for 241 and 245 Main Street. The owner, Sturbridge Service Center. Applicant is Representative Rob Lussier, CMG Engineering, DEP file number 300-1184, and they are giving a written request for continuation to May 15th, 2025.
In regard to the project at 241 and 245 Main Street, DEP file number 300-1184, I present the motion to continue the public hearing to May 15.
Okay. Under discussion, I would like to make some comments. They're continuing to add trailers to the site. It's expanded. They're obviously in violation of the Wetland Protection Act. Excuse me. And not coming to our meetings.
They've requested a continuance, and Heather and I are meeting with,
Craig Moran?
we're meeting with Craig Moran and Dave Feist on Tuesday to discuss the stormwater so they can design the plan properly.
To discuss stormwater management on the site.
Correct.
I think we should also involve the building inspector. I don't think the site is being used as it was, it's zoned for. And I think we've already been shown that it's on, it's not on their own property, that it's on Army Corps land.
I have conferred with Jean about the use, and she said that within the permit, they are within the use, but I will request a formal written opinion from the zoning enforcement officer regarding any issue that may be occurring on the site.
Okay. We would need that. All right. All in favor?
Nathan Lane in favor?
Ed Goodwin in favor?
Sandra Mann in favor.
Carsten Stuber in favor.
Okay. So now we are at 11?
11.
Notice of intent, 263 New Boston Road. The owner is Five Star Realty Trust. The applicant / representative, EBT Environmental, DEP file number 300-1166, proposed project, new single-family home.
The applicant is requesting a continuance to May 15th. We're still in a drought, and also we don't have a proper quorum since Floor cannot vote and Nate cannot vote on this project, so we need Eric. So they requested a continuance.
And we even vote on the continuation.
Continuation, you can.
We can vote on that?
You can vote on the continuation.
I cannot present the motion.
Floor cannot. You two can, and the motion carries to
So-
continue.
That's enough for
That's enough.
continuation.
Right.
But within the discussion, why are we continuing this?
Because you need you, Karsten, and Eric to vote. Eric is not here. And also, there was an opinion for, on the geothermal specialist that the applicant had hired for a consultant, but we cannot accept that because that measurement was taken during the drought status, and we're still in a significant drought. So that work cannot be, that test information cannot be collected, and nor would I recommend accepting that data until we are out of a drought status.
So they're asking for continuation?
Correct.
Okay.
And we can vote on that, the two of us.
Yes. Continuation.
All in favor of a continuation?
Nathan Lane in favor.
Ed Goodwin in favor?
Carsten Stuber in favor.
Yeah, I can.
Yeah, you
Sandra
can.
Mann
On a
abstains.
continuation, yeah.
Oh, we
Can I? Okay, so then.
Yeah.
Just the two.
Just two of us. Or the others can't.
So abstain.
So what happens if I don't vote on it then? And you only have one?
Denial by default, probably.
Well, it's not, we require 3 votes on anything by our bylaw. So we don't have 3 right here tonight.
You can do a motion to continue, from my understanding,
Okay.
to accept a continuation without
All right.
discussion.
Is your laptop plugged in?
It looks like the battery's almost dead.
Otherwise the project stops.
We start in a loop.
All right, where are we now?
You are down to, do you want to discuss item 16 or table it? I'd recommend tabling since it's not on, and also you don't have your full board to discuss that
Yeah.
with. So that would bring us down to item 17.
And we have still 4 pending.
But we should, on 16, it's fine not to discuss it, but we need to make sure that each member of the committee has a copy of the zoning enforcement officer's letter. Does that
It
happen?
was all emailed to all of you at the same time.
Okay, good. All right,
If you didn't look at it before the next meeting.
yeah.
Just for the public hearing, I think we skip number 4, is that right?
We need to go, we'll jump, I mean, at this point, we may as well just continue number 4 because it's an hour later and no one's here to represent that one. So, so we don't,
Okay. Motion to
Just to kind of-
continue
yes, don't get
number
lost.
4.
So in regards to the project at 136 Podunk Road,
You're good, Flora, you're good.
DEP file number 300-1230, present the motion to continue the public hearing on May 15th.
Do we have a second?
Second.
Any discussion? Seeing none, all in favor?
Nathan Lane in favor?
Ed Gooder in favor?
San Germain in favor.
Carsten Stuber in favor.
All right.
so then that puts us at item 17.
17. 72 Paradise Lane. Stop work order issued, DEP file number 300-1148. How you doing?
Good, yourself?
Good.
Good. Yeah, nice.
Yes.
What? Yeah, yeah. Yeah, we're going
Switch
right.
it up a little bit.
I don't know if we are or not.
Remodel.
Changing it
Looks good.
anyway.
Looks good.
So just to recap, the stop work order was issued after a violation of the order of conditions for concrete wash within the buffer zone, which is condition 33. Since the stop work order, the amendment has been recorded at the Registry of Deeds, so thank you for doing that. We have received an updated construction sequence just after the work had resumed, and I did a site inspection after getting the complaint on the concrete wash, but there was no pre-construction meeting prior to work resuming. So this is where we are.
Okay.
For Ed's guidance was to put a stop work order on.
All right. What do you got to say?
Screwed up. I screwed up. I was careless. I wasn't trying. I'm not coming to this town to disrespect anyone. You guys, the neighbors, conservation, building department. As you know, this job's been a mess since the get-go. It's been going on for 3 years. I was part of it the last year. I've had a gun in my mouth trying to get things done. So as soon as I got the okay, it was like, and go, and then, I should have refreshed myself with the order of conditions and the special conditions that I had. I didn't. I should have. That's my fault. No one else's. I have refreshed myself and been reading it day and night to make sure that nothing like that happens again. Granted, it was they came, they poured their foundation. I sat there the whole day hoping nothing, I wasn't thinking about the cement washout, but I was thinking of, making sure that the silt fence was still intact. I was still trying to do my diligence of maintaining the property. They washed out, and then when he used the water to spray off his hose, it trickled down to the thing. I was told, I was told that's not good, and you're not allowed to do that. And I read it, and obviously it's number 32 in the special conditions. I went through the order of conditions many times. I to make sure nothing else happens again, I laminated signs for contractors. They'll be put on a 4x8 sheet of plywood and then plexiglass, so it stays there the remaining of the time. I grabbed one for
All right, don't worry.
grab one for OSHA because that's probably next. Sturbridge Conservation. So I have the order of conditions you gave me was so long that Staples was they couldn't get it all on one paper, or I'd have several sheets of plywood, you know. So I got the most what I thought was most important for at least them to come over to the board, read the special conditions, see, and I will have a packet of the special conditions in a plastic bag so people can come and read it. I will make sure that happens. There's a few other things that I plan on doing to make sure that nothing like this ever happens again, because again, this is the last thing I was trying to do, is to disrespect anyone, right? I know you guys you don't get paid to do this. You're strictly volunteers that help the town, and you have their best interests, and I'm not trying to give you the middle finger and disobey your laws. I'm just a little new, but I'm learning. So I my whole life I've been wanted to be a builder. I don't want to be a builder anymore. I should have stayed at McDonald's. I would have been a manager by now, you know, at least. But anyway, here I am, disobeying conservation laws, but firmly paying the price. So I'm gonna post these on a sheet of plywood. I'm gonna have all contractors read the sign of the orders of conditions, and read and sign the order of conditions, so they are fully aware of what needs to be done and what can't be done. All contractors moving forward will be fined $5,000 if the rules are broken. It will be in their contract. So from moving forward, when I hire a subcontractor, I will tell them, look, if you disobey, the rule, and I get in trouble, it's $5,000, and I will donate it to whatever proceed or whatever you'd like, that will help conservation or whatever you'd want to do. And all contractors' names and numbers will be forwarded over to Conservation Committee, so you're aware of who's on the sites and who's not on the site. And I apologize. It stinks. It's the last thing I wanted to do was piss anyone off, and I've been really trying to do, I've been trying, all right, this is good. I've been pumping water into bags and silt bags and collecting all the silt, trying to get all the runoff. I've been trying really, really hard to not piss anyone off, including neighbors or conservation employees. And my apologies. I slipped. I have had a gun in my mouth since the day this thing started, and it's just been a roller coaster. And as soon as I got the okay to go, I just went, and I didn't think of one of the rules of special orders.
You watched him wash his cement truck down into our lake?
No, it wasn't at the lake. It wasn't. It was at the top of the road because it's a one.
Which goes into the lake.
It's a one parking lot site.
Yeah, I know. Believe me, we know it's.
We made it. We cleaned it up so more parking can get in there.
We don't care about that.
No,
I'm
no.
talking about.
Unfortunately, Ed, yes, I did. If I would have known, if I would have refreshed myself with the orders of conditions, I would have told him to screw, that he needed to do it somewhere else.
Yeah.
Now moving forward, because I still have cement coming, right? My plan is to order a small kiddie pool, right? Not a small one, but a decent one, where they can put their stuff in, hose it off in the pool, and I'll let it dry, and I'll remove the pool off site. If you don't like that, then I can spread a 100 by 100 foot tarp or something similar to that, a big tarp, 50 by 50, 20 by 50, and I'll build up the sides with 2x4s, creating a lip around, and the dump truck can come and park right on the thing, because the dump truck's in the road. There's no room for the truck. I'm sorry, not the dump truck. The cement truck's in the road. So it goes cement truck and then a pump truck, because the cement truck can't drive down there. So we had to use a pump truck to get the stuff in there, to get the cement down into the footings. So what I'm thinking we can do is just, lay a gigantic tarp out, have the guy come down, park on top of that. I'll let the neighbors know that I'm there because, again, the road's blocked off. No one can come in and out, but I have let the neighbors know when things are coming so we avoid any conflict with the neighbors. And as soon as they're done, I'll wrap up the tarp and bring it home and wash it off there or bring it somewhere and make sure it's cleaned out and then bring it back the next day. But I mean, we only have 2 more cement projects coming, which would be the pads, the cement pads for the garage and basement and for the walls, for the foundation walls. And those are the 2 next times that we'll be using concrete trucks in 2 separate times, phases.
The concrete company that you're using is unaware of the fact that they're not supposed to be washing their trucks into our lakes?
I'm unaware if he knows or not. If he did, then it was a blatant slap. But I don't think he knew, or was he even thinking of it.
Of course he knows. Of course he knows.
I don't know. The guy that was using the truck, he was working for his brother.
I don't want to get into the detail.
Right.
If he's driven in and around the lakes anywhere, he knows he can't wash his truck in the lake.
He should know. Yes, correct.
It's as simple as that, and he knows it. I mean, these are the things that the solutions that they use are the problems that they create.
Right. And I agree with you.
And he knows it, and it's ridiculous. That end of the pond is a really nice spot for trout.
Yes.
And you guys are putting cement.
I love trout fishing. I go once a year with my
Well,
guys. I get it.
I can't imagine that anybody that loves trout fishing wouldn't be uniquely alert to anything that was going on in that
Right.
that area. I also you have to have your order of conditions on site. You know that, right? Now.
I do now. Oh yeah, I read it. It's that's going to be on the bulletin.
Yeah. Okay.
On the bulletin board that I create, it will be in a bag, in a Ziploc bag, so it doesn't get wet.
Yeah. The thing with builders is once they build a nice house, but it's always too late because they mess up the area. This is the most damaging period for that site that it's going to have in the next 100 years. Once you get this house built, it'll be there, and it won't be, it'll become static. At least generally they do, providing it doesn't burn or something. This is the damaging time. What you're doing is damaging to the lake as anything can be. And I'm not, it's what we do as people. I'm not trying to say but you got to follow our regulations, and you got to be conscious of when other people are not following our regulations.
I will 100% agree with you. I will be. I'll be like a monster. Like it's like I'm going to be so like I don't even know if half these guys will work for me ever again because I'm going to be so strict.
Well, it'd be good. It'll help the lake.
And I love going for hikes and stuff. I'm a nature guy. I'm not intentionally. I was just a total afterthought. I didn't think of it. I should have read the order. I should have refreshed myself with the order conditions, and
all right.
And that wouldn't have happened. It wouldn't have happened. I would have been able to say, hey, you got to wash that out somewhere else.
Anybody else have any other comments?
No. You gave him a big school there.
From what?
You gave him a big school there.
Jesus Christ. All right, thanks for coming in.
Thank you.
I'm disappointed that I saw you again. And I don't want to see you again.
Really, Ed?
Yeah, we're not friends.
I got you. I didn't want to.
She doesn't want to see me.
I'm so tired to put me here.
She said
We're an hour away.
I hear you. I've been doing this for 40 years, and I've never been paid.
I volunteered.
I didn't mean that as any, I'm just saying, it's,
You can combine it with a nice restaurant visit in Sturban.
What was that?
You can combine it with a nice restaurant visit in Sturban.
A lot of good restaurants on your way home.
Yeah, that's a good idea. You should do that for us.
Yeah.
What's that now?
Take her to a nice restaurant on your way home.
Yeah,
It's actually, they have very nice restaurants.
we'll eat right by the water.
We don't have any by the water. Well, you can't, we do, yeah.
Is that a ketchup bottle?
All right, thanks for coming in.
What is this?
Are we doing an okay to lift the stop work order?
Yes.
Thank you. And again, sorry for wasting your time for the 400th time. And I don't want to come back. I'm not coming back. I'm
Can I
sending
ask
her.
a question then
Sure.
before we leave? There was a pre-construction visit. What visit do you want to go?
We saw the other day, I did inspect the erosion controls, I did inspect the dewatering.
That looked
So
good, right?
it does look good.
That water was so fine that it wasn't even pooling up at the time. I actually called the company. I said, your bag's broke. I'm like, it's not catching any of the water, but the water that I was pumping out was from the bottom of the footings. It was so clear that it was just spilling right out. And I'm like, oh my God, she's going to kill me. Because it was flying out of the bag, you know? And I thought it was supposed to stop in the bag a little bit, fill up, and then disperse slowly.
If you notice that it is going too quickly, you can do some check dams.
I did do that.
So-
Did you notice the check dams? I did do that. I put a hay.
Where, yeah.
Yeah, I put a few of them in just to slow it down. And then I made like a couple grooves so it wouldn't go towards the neighbor. So when it hit the groove, it went towards the dock.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Yep.
All right, thank you.
Well, thank you guys. I really appreciate you. And sorry again. And
48 Bushnell Road, enforcement order action required. 2025.
So go back to your memory bank from last year when we approved and issued a DOA for a septic replacement on 48 Bushnell Road. There was a lot of overgrowth in that area and all kinds of good things, and we made it very clear, hey, don't touch anything else. Can you guess what they did? They touched other things. So this is all the brush that still remains, but this was all overgrown here. And all this was overgrown up to pretty much where you see the green. This is all within the 25. I went there on an inspection with our building inspector, electrical inspector, plumbing inspector. No permits for the inside, no permits for the electrical. Full permits for plumbing. No additional permits through conservation. So at this point, it's still the same homeowner property owner, I should say, that we spoke with. The house is for sale, and the potential buyers were at the walkthrough that we went to. I don't know if they're going to continue to move forward with the sale, but I did mention that my recommendation is to put an enforcement order on this for the restoration of all the brush that was cleared within the 25-foot. It's my opinion that when we issued the DOA for the septic, we could not have been any more clear that any single thing that is outside, because the whole property is pretty much within the 200-foot, that you needed approval through this commission. And I understand, trying to clean it up to sell it, but that's, there's this whole swamp and marsh area over here, so that's a lot of habitat that was destroyed. And I would like to issue an enforcement order with a restoration plan to get some of that back.
Okay, good. I have no problem with that.
Okay.
Anybody have any issues with that?
Perfect.
Good.
We'll move forward with that then.
Yeah. We'll have to do put that on for a site visit for the next, so we can. Did you ever go down there, Flora?
I don't remember.
Yeah.
Sounds familiar, like the fence.
I'd go back. I think you did. I'll have to go back and find out the meeting that we were on that site.
It's good to go down there anyway. You like kicks, right?
No.
It is
All
beautiful.
right, what's next?
My other updates. As I mentioned, we are still in a significant drought. Hopefully that can end soon. Trails Cleanup Day was this past weekend, which I heard was a great success, so I'm glad to hear. We'll also have the townwide cleanup day or townwide cleaning
Yep.
period that's still going on till the 30th. We have bags and gloves here, so if anyone wants to take some or bring some for your neighbors, you can grab those while you're here. We are anticipating receiving an application for an amendment to an order of conditions from National Grid for the Podunk Putnam project, that they are going to request an amendment to remove those two conditions. We are conferring with both DEP and council, because my understanding was that if the superseding order is still pending under DEP's review, that it cannot be amended by either party, that they would have to drop the request for superseding order. As far as the appeal under the bylaw, we can still accept the amendment. I just don't know if we can accept it until they formally
What
drop
are
the
the two
request.
that they want us to?
The cleaning up of the debris piles and the soil testing. Those were the two that they were disputing, and we did.
They originally volunteered, and now they're not, they don't want to live by. That's
We
ridiculous.
did issue the order of conditions for
Yeah.
the solar company to do it.
Yeah.
But you are not the only person that feels that way, and you're not the only person that feels that way within this town too, so it's
Yeah.
not. But we're
Unbelievable.
working with, our council that we're working with on this has been very supportive, and Robin is also very involved in this as well too, so as is Jean and Heather, so we're all really.
Robin was on those original walks. When we walked and they showed us the debris piles and said how they were gonna clean it up.
But
What?
isn't the pile now cleaned up?
No,
Not yet. We issued a new order of conditions to the solar company to clean them up.
Right.
And they're in the steps to get that done. I was emailing him today and asked if they had an anticipation of when they wanted to start that. But we don't have a date on when they are starting that.
So, but they agreed on that and the National Grid is out of it.
Technically, National Grid is still in it because it's on their order of conditions still. So I will wait to kind of see what happens, but I want to make sure that we can accept that amendment under both the Wetland Protection Act and under the bylaw. But we're anticipating on getting that on Monday. I'm also issuing an emergency order for a failing retaining wall on Cedar. It will require a follow-up NOI for a repair, but right now the wall itself is completely failing and falling into the lake, and you've got soil eroding in there as well. So the enforcement order will just cover a temporary stabilization, so they're going to use cord log to kind of hold this back. This part of the retaining wall, while it's filling in, they're going to use some metal stakes to hopefully try and keep this back, but this is all loose. These aren't cemented together or anything. It's a very bizarre wall. But it's, these stairs are slanting in and everything too. You can even see this wall under the house, which I don't know if they're proposing to fix that too, but that's leaning in the other way. So right now that's 72 pairs. Right now, the emergency order will just cover stabilization for the summer before the boats start coming out and everything, which, they're already out. So stabilizing that, and then in anticipation of, it will require a notice of intent to do a wall repair or replacement in the fall through a notice of intent. So that's going to get issued. That needs.
doesn't require an emergency order?
Sorry?
Should we not require an emergency?
No, we need to issue an emergency order. The lawn itself right now is falling into the lake, and the boats are already active on the lake. The water level is right here, right now. It's at this level. So you're getting soil material washing in, and once the boats start and the waves start coming up, it's just going to get worse. And that's obviously not in the best interest of the lake. But they will have to repair, most likely replace this whole wall.
Do they have a timeline when the emergency order of condition is
The emergency order is valid for 30 days. So, Landscape Evolutions is doing it. So while he was in here, he just said he's gonna try and do it next week. So that would just cover it. That's just stabilization, cord log and stakes to hold it up, and then they'll file the notice of intent. And that's a caveat of the emergency order too, that a notice of intent is filed for a full replacement. They're going to have to. I did also bring this to the building inspector's attention as well, because I have several safety concerns of the existing condition. The patio is the same type of blocks, and even as I was walking down, one of them flipped and I fell on site. So there's a lot of safety concerns. So I did bring this to Bill's attention as well too, because it could be,
You don't want to sue?
if I was a different person,
Joke,
maybe.
joke.
But no. So for safety reasons, for physical safety of people and physical safety of the lake, right now we just really want to get this stabilized and held up. And
Will
so
we see something at the next, May 15th?
see something for an order for
For what they're doing
NOI.
for stable,
We
yeah.
For stabilization, yes, I'll be able to get what they've done to stabilize it. I would not anticipate a notice of intent for May 15th, because they'd have to have that in by Monday. And he's very backed up right now as it is.
But I don't, we need to make sure that we're not creating a situation where we're liable. We want to make sure we move on
We're
this.
not, that's part of why I have the building inspector involved in this too.
Yeah, okay.
Also, so just now that we've gone through all these other hearings, we will be scheduling the executive session for 5:30 prior to the next meeting to talk about 30 River Road. I do have people coming in for the Barnacles walk-in. If anyone hasn't familiar, which Nate, you're probably familiar with the Acorns scavenger hunt. So there's a new Trails initiative going forward, and it's I'll let them give you their spiel, but it's going to be placing some different like keepsake items on different trails as like an ongoing long-term scavenger hunt. It's absolutely fantastic, but they're going to do a little brief presentation at our next meeting, so I'm going to put that in the Barnacles walk-in
Great.
section.
Like a geocache?
Kind of, except they're porcelain clay
Clay.
acorns.
Yep.
They're beautiful. They're like this big. They're gonna bring them in so that way you can see them, hold them. I think it's fantastic.
I should know the comparison, but there's a similar place where you find the glass like globes that
Block Island.
Block Island.
Oh.
It's on that kind of model.
Interesting.
Yeah, so not geocaching, but more finding.
Yes,
Yeah.
It's kind of,
Finding it
yeah, it's a
catalog.
Trails Committee Bitcoin deal, you know?
It's really neat.
We have a back end agreement. Yeah.
Other than that, we have 3 applications already for the next meeting, and then if we get the National Grid amendment, that would make number 4. We'll see what else comes in that I don't know. Our deadline is noon on Monday. We have a bunch of continuances from this meeting, and then obviously the continuances that are being continued. So next meeting is going to be intense. Drink your coffee, energy drink, tea, whatever. Bring snacks. I am out of the office tomorrow and Monday, but I will be back in time for town meeting, and I hope that everybody makes it to town meeting on Monday night. Lori will be holding down the fort for those 2 days, so if you need anything, please reach out to her. And that is all that I have.
What's on the agenda for the town meeting?
The bridge.
The bridge, the pedestrian
We gotta
bridge
go
that's
vote for
going
the
from the
bridge.
parking lot to Riverlands. That's kind of the biggest item for this year. Other than that, it's the usual
How much money goes-
budget and all that stuff. 2 million.
It's a
CPC
pittance
funds.
for you, you know?
There's more detail, and that's the reason to go to the town meeting and hear it. Grants, etc.
The meeting of May 15, would it have an executive session earlier?
We will have the executive session at 5:30.
5:30, okay.
And unless Kerboy continues, which, I don't know what they're gonna do. If they don't,
Do we need site visit?
we'll be across the street. Yeah, when do you want to do?
Actually, I deleted your email for the last step.
Thank you. That's so kind of you. I feel special.
Lauren?
I assume you waited that time too.
I was wondering that.
The week of the meeting, the week before the meeting.
The week before the meeting is better for me in time. But I could do
What's good for you and Matt?
Karsten, you said Mondays and Wednesdays?
Yeah, but May, what May are we talking about now? 15, the 18th?
The week of May 5th?
Okay, so that's the last. Wait a minute. Okay. Probably.
Nate, what's good for you the week of May 5th?
I mean,
They never want to say anything.
I'm pretty good clear for that week right now. If we're doing, and I have Lori now too, so Monday mornings aren't as pressing as they were.
the Wednesday would be
May 5th, the week of May 5th, I'm gone, unfortunately.
So
Karsten, you said Wednesday the 7th is best for you?
Wednesday would, yeah, I could even do the 8th because classes are over. But 7th would be good, yeah.
Laura, how about you?
Like 7 is good for me. Like
I can do the
that
7th.
that week, the only day that I can't is the 8th, and the following week I can do on Monday or Wednesday after 9 a.m. I have something that's
We could do the
at
7th.
1,
So we
but
can
I
do the
don't
7th?
understand
That's
what
the
I wrote.
7th.
The 7th is good.
7th.
So the 7th,
Well, promising.
Wednesday the 7th.
Yeah.
Everyone is, do we have anyone that is going to be absent at that meeting as of right now? Okay.
Sorry, date of that meeting?
Wednesday the 7th, you said you're out of town that week?
Yep.
Okay. Do you guys want to move it to the next week so Nate can go, or do you want to stick with the 7th and we'll also let Eric and Roy know too that it's the 7th? I just hope they can make it. Stick with the 7th?
Do you have a day, Nate, on the following week? It's good?
Anytime the following week.
Like 12 on the following week is good. Like Monday is good for me.
We could do
Yeah.
Monday, too.
Oh, Monday's good? Oh, we can do the 12th.
Monday the 12th it is.
Yep.
So Monday 12.
Perfect.
Now I'm going to go home and write down the 7th.
12th of May. We've got that in.
Yeah.
Obviously, going into summer, you're all aware that we have our break between July 17th and August 28th. If anyone's going to be missing any other meetings throughout the summer or traveling, please let us know so we can plan accordingly. And that's all that I have, other than formally introducing Lori to everyone that hasn't, our new assistant agent. She started last Monday and she's been a
Welcome aboard.
godsend, and we're very glad to have her. She's a great addition to this.
Meetings are even, or better already.
Yay. My fingers are like this over here. I'm like, whoa.
Best ever.
That's great.
Good.
Welcome.
Thank
Yeah,
you,
one
thank
more.
you.
Yeah.
So unless anyone else has any other matters to discuss.
Motion to adjourn.
Do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
I.
Anybody?